What we do here is go back.
Oh my God!
Oh nerd, what have you been doing?
This game sucks.
For those of you who don't know about him, James Rolfe, otherwise known as the Angry Video Game Nerd, or AVGN for short, he's your stereotypical basement dweller who started out making retro video game reviews independently with a little help from his friends. These reviews of his had a lot of thought and effort put into them, mainly because of James's past filmmaking experience. First time that I heard about him was in someone's review of that Nintendo product placement movie.
The Wizard.
Oh my God!
And before anyone asks,
No.
I don't hate James or the people from Screenwave personally, I just dislike the current state of Cinemassacre compared to how it was around the Screenwave acquisition. Also, in case somebody brings it up in the comments, I don't care about the whole Mike Matei situation. That guy I couldn't care less about, nor do I think that the Cinemassacre channel would be better off without him. But while we're still on the subject of Mike, here's this subreddit called The Cinemassacre Truth for those of you who feel indifferent with how their YouTube channel is currently doing. Which just so happens to have the profile pic that Mike drew for reasons he addressed as him trying to do easy jokes from how edgy everyone was at the time. But for comedic's sake, I'll say it was for funnier reasons.
I understand why all the kids are playing this game these days. It's because they like to build brown bricks with Minecraft. I also like to build brown bricks with Minecraft.
In 2020, at the start of the pandemic, I was going through the single player of GTA 5 on 360 for the third time. Meaning I had enough time to watch all of the nerd episodes, including the Cinemassacre's Monster Madness vids. After recently watching all of his vids a second go around, I have noticed a drastic change in quality, especially when I found out that James Rolfe is working with Screenwave to ship out crappy nerd episodes. And for those of you who don't know what an MCN is, it stands for Multi-Channel Network. It's an organization that works with video platforms to offer assistance to a channel owner, much like Disney's Maker's Studio or Machinima.com. So unlike my Angry Joe video where I list 10 things that I currently dislike about his channel, here I want to go over my thoughts and opinions on the current state of Cinemassacre in no particular order. So let's go back to the past when the nerd videos didn't suck ass.
He'd rather eat some rotten dog shit than drown it down with rolling rocks.
You know, at first I wasn't even upset at James with the fact that he can't excessively swear. The gimmick in of itself does get boring over time, which is probably the reason why Rooster Teeth are not making vids like Rage Quit anymore. Even YouTube's demonetization doesn't even affect the nerd videos because that system automatically works when it detects swear words at the 30-second mark of the video, just as long as it's not too lewd. So I can actually see it from James's perspective. Oh wait, never mind, doesn't swear as much just to get more sponsorships and to appease the YouTube algorithm altogether. And it becomes more obvious since James doesn't do all the writing for all of his videos anymore. But before I go on, I just want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by the air you are breathing in. Yeah, just take it in.
That's some good shit.
Around 2014, the nerd was reaching his 10-year anniversary of making his reviews, and in his Desert Bus vid, he said that he should
I need to go do something bigger, something to top everything that I've already done. But how do I do that?
Now, I haven't watched the Angry Video Game movie, but fans have mentioned that as a sign of when the reviews fell down in quality, but to me, that was around 2019-2020. But back to the movie. For those who want to hear someone else's thoughts on the film, then go check out Rebel Taxi's vid, which will be in the video's description. All in all, it's actually nice that James and his friends have filmed their own movies since high school and eventually got a chance to put one onto the big screen, which a year after the film was released just so happens to be around the acquisition by Screenwave. So fans would presume that more nerd episodes or potential films could be made with a higher budget, right?
Wrong!
I mean, besides the special effects and that one nerd episode where they filmed it in one take, it doesn't really factor in on the quality for the episodes when the only other comparable video game reviewer who even bothers with using special effects would be Angry Joe. And the least I can say about him, the better.
Are you out of your mind?
Much like Rage Quit Michael Jones, James Rolfe was becoming a father around 2012, and up to now, he has 2 daughters. Because of this, he obviously wants to spend as much time with them as possible since he has the luxury of working at home.
However,
Unlike most people who work at home, they don't have millions of fans that essentially put James to where he is now. If he's trying to work up to the fans' expectations, then maybe he should come up with a compromise, because at this point, it's a complete joke for how many times he uses his family as a crutch for everything.
Alright. Well, anyway, that's it. We just ran out of time because I have to be done at 5:40 right now. And
so what's gonna happen is
exactly 5:40.
next time you see this, James is gonna beat this on his own.
I'll try, yeah.
Without me, because the way we record, so.
Yeah.
Back when the nerd videos weren't even monetized, that meant James was already working at a job being a video editor, which he then quit 3 years later once the AVGN videos had become popular. Life in of itself is a balancing act between your work and your social life, i.e. friends and family. But if your job involves you sitting on your ass while your backlog of videos are printing you money, then yeah, spend whatever time you want with your family. Just don't be surprised when everyone doesn't have enough time to put up with you, because it feels like you're ignoring your true fans, like a stepfather neglecting their non-biological son.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
yeah, I guess.
Okay, where do I begin with this? How about minimum camera angles, same flat shot of couch, deadpan line reads because James is using a teleprompter.
I use it for the longer speeches, especially for the movie reviews. That way I can look directly at the camera while reading the script for the entire duration of the video.
I choose not to use a teleprompter or anything like that. In fact, in the old days, I used to tape the script like over here or near the TV or wherever it was, and I would just read off of it. So now I don't do that. I still look at the TV like I'm, focused on the TV and then shift my attention to the audience here and there.
No creative or funny sketches, too many sponsors to accommodate the lack of swear words. Back when YouTube changed its algorithm again in 2015, the one that catered more towards watch time over clicks, it meant that Screenwave would make long drawn-out videos like rental reviews and the Cinemasker podcast. What's the bullshit, Rich? I hear you asking. Well, Screenwave summarized the title to YKWBS just to avoid YouTube's elusive algorithms. They've also gone back to the older nerd videos and George Lucas the fuck out of them. No, they didn't add CG dinosaurs through the frame, but they've stapled these shitty end cards that block the screen because older YouTube vids weren't meant for that and revolved around annotations.
And now that something worth watching has happened, don't forget to beg for subscriptions and comments.
And you can do all that through the wonderful invention of annotations. You don't know what those are? Imagine if the great directors of the world had the ability to stick post-it notes directly on the eyeballs of their audience. It's like that, only more annoying.
Like maybe he shouldn't be restrained by his own equipment because it makes his basic episodes look like non-frosted mini-wheats in comparison to your cooler Frosted Flake flavored episodes that had little to no budget at all. You know, it feels like James doesn't care anymore when he's not even at the helm of writing the entirety of his own videos, and instead you have scripts written out by these gibbons. I'm saying this because one member of Screenwave literally copied a scripture of someone else's review for the horror film 28 Days Later. Even though James explains that it was a mistake on their behalf, I'm certain that wouldn't fly anywhere else. It makes you wonder why one would even be bothered to watch any more of their videos if they're being this lazy. Because let's seriously think about this. Which videos are better? The ones written by a guy who has a passion for horror films and monster flicks? Or videos written by a bunch of lazy who didn't pay enough attention in class on how plagiarizing makes you look like a giant nice guy? I don't know about you, but I came here to watch James Rolfe, not these monks. Or maybe it's just a sign on things getting worse for content creators that don't want to be constricted by these video guidelines. I mean, let's face it, back then it was much easier to get into YouTube before they were required by Google, and that's just an example. Now I know James didn't focus all of his attention on YouTube back then, but now that he's been making over 200 episodes, you just know he's made over 200 episodes? Alright, it didn't look promising at first for the 200th episode when the nerd said that he'll be doing a goddamn clip show. I mean, that's literally something that the Nostalgia Critic made a joke about right before his Battlefield Earth review.
Hey, wait a minute. What's he doing? He's not doing anything. He's just looking at his stupid clip show. Huh? What the hell? We watched 100 episodes of your shit and you just throw this clip show at us? I mean, that sucks ass.
Yeah, the Nostalgia Critic of the past wouldn't do something like that.
Throughout the retrospect, we know that he made multiple parts for the 200th episode, but considering I brought up how lazy Fullscreen is, it wouldn't surprise me if that's all they're going to be doing. And what else did we get from those other vids? Just the nerd doing his thing to LJN? Nothing we haven't seen before, right? And in comparison to his 100th episode, it makes itself look 100 times better when you compare their wee-wee sizes on which one catches your attention. Now even if you bring up the whole, oh Rich, you see James can't have more people to help him out, bull crap. The Fear and Loathing Las Vegas vid felt like a bigger episode than the 200th one. I guess Fullscreen had to pull some budget cuts with that unnecessary one-take nerd episode. But in all seriousness, I should be giving James some credit because at the start of 2022, he said that he'll be making more movie reviews, gaming, and various topics. James said that he would be writing the scripts himself instead of going off the cuff like in his podcast. And for those of you who can recall, this was something that I brought up in my Angry Joe video, which you should check out by the way. So I think James is taking his channel in the right direction, despite some of the complaints that I have with him. I really wouldn't know what they should do to try to bring their channel back to the golden era, but if you ask me, I would try to make the AVGN episodes bi-weekly, maybe a little bit smaller, and make sure the whole Monster Madness fiasco never happens again. While also trying to make another project on the side, like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles retrospective he made, and change the original thumbnails back to how they were before. The same goes for undoing the unnecessary end cards, because they are literally in the way when the video is still playing. After looking back some more, I found out that his more recent vids of You Know What's Bullshit has the same problem. Like, dude, just make an end card or something. Much like the Nostalgia Critic, I'm not a fan of content creators pulling a George Lucas where they retroactively go back and change things that didn't need to be changed in the first place. All in all, if James Rolfe or any member or fan of Cinemassacre watch this video, please don't take it personally. I'm just trying to be constructive with my criticisms.
You're playing with power, but good luck not losing this tiny ass disc. Oh, fuck.